Hello, everyone, and welcome to You Hate to See It interviews. I am Adam.
I'm Nick. Jeff is missing because work has decided to have fun with his butthole. I think that's a good way of describing it, right? Right, Adam?
Yeah,
Mm.
a little tease,
Little.
little tickle.
So we have with us today. What would you guys? Well, we got Flepsy and Rotting Midwest. What would you guys consider yourselves? Like urban explorers? Is that the
Yeah,
proper term these days?
urban explorers,
Okay.
explorers.
So
Yeah, whatever you want to call it.
how exactly does one get into urban exploring? Is it
So,
just you see a building and go, that looks like someplace I should be?
so me and Running Midwest actually started completely different times. I started from there's actually a building on my road where I live. It's like this really terrible. It's like one story, and it's just like this. It's open, and like me and my buddies went there one day, and we're just kind of looking at it. We're like, huh, I wonder if there's more like this. And then the second building I've ever been to is me and my cousin's house we used to live at. We went to go visit there and we're gonna see the new owners. We're gonna ask to actually like look at the house. We got there and then there was a thing on the door that said like vacant for 6 years. I forgot the exact terminology, but it was like held by the bank for 6 years. So I snuck in through a kitchen window that was on like the second story. And I made it in. I let my friends in and we were just like hanging out there. And we're like, this is kind of cool, just being in a building that hasn't been there's just no life in. And then kind of how me and Running Midwest came to be is I was at the skate park and we heard a yell from a building nearby, and everyone was calling it Crackhead Mountain because it was just full of like tweakers and just like people that would just sit there and do drugs, and like the homeless would live there. And we're just like, I want to go explore that. So, like any rational human would, you hear tweakers screeching and you want to just run right up to them. But I went there and I was like, this is pretty cool. And then I texted my buddy and I was like, hey, you want to go to this building with me? He was like, yeah, I've actually been doing this too. So that's how that came to be. And it was actually a YMCA, and it was this really big building. It was super run down because a lot of people know about it, but it's really awesome. There was a pool that was empty and like just completely, there's still like photographs and stuff. That's how kind of I got into it and started, and then I'll let him kind of explain his story.
So I didn't get into it like seriously, like a lot, like doing a lot more things until like maybe like a year ago. But I actually started probably back when I was like maybe 12 or 11, which sounds crazy, but it was because I had one of my closest aunts and she used to go exploring places, and she used to bring me to like abandoned homes and like places like that. Nothing crazy, but she used to bring me to like cool little places. I'm like, this is so cool. I wish I could do this, but I can't drive, so I'm basically stuck at home unless she brings me places. So whenever I hung out with her, I normally we normally went somewhere. But once I got my license, then that's when I really started trying to go to places. I never really had like a group to go with until I met with Flepsy. I had some other people, but they weren't like as into it as we were. Um, but some of like the first places I probably have gone to were there was a boat marina. It had like abandoned yachts and all these boats that were just left behind. And then we started going to bigger places and looking for more. So we would end up finding ourselves on Google Maps for hours a day, looking for places to go to try to find some. But it's definitely easier with a group to help you look. So that's how I got with Flepsy.
So you had at least an example of it. Flepsy just saw or heard someone screaming and was like,
If you
that
are
sounds fun.
craving adrenaline, if you are craving adrenaline and you want to feed that adrenaline, this is the perfect hobby for you.
That's I like so the way I found you guys was I was scrolling through Instagram and I found Flepsy's video exploring what used to be Arlington International Racetrack. And it's now going to be the Bears Stadium, or supposedly whatever. And the videos I watched from you brought back such harsh memories of that building.
Harsh.
Dude, that place. When I worked nighttime security there, so 11 to 7:30 in the morning.
Ooh.
And that the thought of going into like just buildings, unknown buildings in the middle of the night from that job horrifies me. It is like it's whether it's a crackhead, whether it's a couple of nice young gentlemen like yourselves, or if it's something a little spookier than that. Like I've seen it all. I'd never want to even risk that. Like the fact that you guys just do it for fun. I didn't want to do it for a paycheck. And you guys just do it for fun is wild.
Yeah, we just love making content. We don't even make money from our content, so we're honestly just doing it for fun and for people who enjoy
Same.
watching it.
People don't enjoy watching it though. For us,
It's so. While on Arlington, how did you guys like? Obviously, it's been closed down since COVID at the very least. But do you guys like do like days of like reconnaissance on, like, are you guys doing a military operation to get in, like tracking guard schedules and all that?
Some places. I don't know if Flepsy wants to start off, but I'm just gonna say that Arlington was the most risky. Like we just didn't even like try. We just did it and sent it and realized how lucky we were after we did it.
Yeah, so I forgot how how did we figure it out that was abandoned?
The King might have told us. I'm not sure.
No, we didn't talk to him then. That's kind of what. Anyways, it doesn't really matter how we figured it out, but we're like, oh, there's this horse race track, blah, blah, blah. We gotta go to this. And I was like, I think I found it, like randomly.
No. We saw a video from Two Swag production. We saw.
Yeah,
I think his,
yeah. So he broke in. So our buddy now, we weren't buddies at the time, but we talked to him now. He was going there with another popular dude. His name is Decaying Midwest. He just got his 100K plaque on YouTube, and he was going there, and they were supposed to meet there, and somehow, so we're gonna call him Two Swag. He just stumbled upon the property on accident because he was trying to take a shortcut to meet Decaying Midwest, and he ended up just being there, and he was like, "Wait, I'm already in." He was like, "Holy shit, you're already in." And he was like, "Okay, well,
After
go explore."
working there, I can 100% see how you just stumble in there and then realize, oh, I'm not supposed to be.
Yeah, because it's
here.
so close to the train station.
We would have to. So when I worked there, the actual train, like the platform, was Metro owned. A foot off of that's where it became Arlington property. And like if you were there at like 3, like you could take the train. But like if you stepped onto the parking lot like 3 a.m., we had people ready to go like, hey, you can't be here. And like we would chase people away.
How did you know when people were on the property?
We at that time there were mobile units. There was a mobile unit. So like just a dude driving around in the truck around the property all night. So
There's no motion detectors.
not at that time, not in that area. This was well over 5 years ago that I worked there, and I'm sure now that it's Bear Security, it's completely changed. They might have motion detectors there now. It wouldn't surprise. Like back then, I could, in my head right now, I could tell you the exact path to get into the building without being detected, and I could tell you exactly what doors didn't lock because there were plenty of them.
Yeah,
Um,
we found that out.
Yeah, it is nowhere near as secure as it should be, and yeah, I shouldn't talk a lot about it, but like it was not good back then. With it now, and that was when it was like fully operational, and they wanted to like still use it for horse racing.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
now, at least when it was still up, people like we got our name from this place. People were like freaking out on how we got in because numerous people have been arrested, including our buddy Two Swag. He got caught there. They ended up getting like locked in a closet, and then they found him or something. Yeah, it was
I can
insane. And
imagine
then
that too.
he was in
He
a
didn't
closet.
make it into the main building.
Yeah, he made it in like a
made on one of
side
the
one.
outskirt ones.
Yeah, so he ended up getting in a closet. He tried escaping and realizing one of the guards was leaning against the door, holding him in until the cops came. So
God.
yeah, he got caught like that. Very sad. And then we're like, oh, he got caught. Oh, we're better than that. So we go literally, I'm pretty sure like within the first like week of that being posted, we go at night. I don't remember the time, but it was definitely black outside. Couldn't see anything. And we're like, all right, how are we gonna do this? Let's just go through this fence, jump over here. We literally just jumped over the fence by like the main road. We crossed over the train, and then we just went into the parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
There was probably like 4 or 5 cars patrolling the whole parking lot, like just driving back and forth around
really?
the building. And we keep on hearing stories how people think that there's motion detectors on all the fences on how secure the place is. And we're like, no way. And so we just go some random route, not thinking of anything. We go in, we sprint through the whole parking lot. We don't go in through the sides. We go through the main front area. We run through the whole parking lot. Keep in mind that's like it was a long sprint. It was I was out of breath at the end.
Mm-hmm.
We go up like the staircase. We had to like tuck and roll sometimes because cars would get so close to us, thinking we saw us. We ended up like circling around the back, almost getting caught multiple times, go through the front, and we're just checking every single door. Every door we check. We ended up getting, I think, like, I don't know if it was the second story or not, but it was one of the doors. It just opened up. And we're like, oh, damn, this is just open. So we go in, being as cautious as we could. We were sketched out. It was 3 of us. I was with Flepsy and one other guy. And we were just walking around, tiptoeing around, super sketched out, taking pictures, be like, oh, this is so cool. Hopefully we don't get caught. And then we ended up just leaving. We explored most of the thing, but it was pitch black out. It was dark. We posted it. It got some attention, but people were still like freaking out how we got in. Flepsy, you want to tell them the second time we got in then?
Oh, you guys went
Yeah.
in twice.
Yeah, we went
Yes.
twice. The next time was during the
So-
day.
So yeah, after that first time, like everyone was just bamboozled that we made it in, and we didn't even know about any of it. We didn't realize that there was motion because we hid behind a curb actually, and like, or not a curb, but it was like a stack of curbs, the green ones, that's like about 4 or 5 feet tall, and a security car went flying past us. And they didn't see us, but like we realized there's security, but we didn't realize anything else and how like intense it was because so many people got arrested there. And we made it in, blah blah. He said it. And then once we got out, and then we realized how many people were like, damn, you guys made it in.
Yeah,
There's
most
like,
people were saying that the second they crossed over the fence, security guards pulled up and they had to go.
Yeah.
so then we had Decaying Midwest reach out to us because he was like, hey, these small TikTokers, blah blah, are like actually making in these places and not like just being the generic urbexers that are just kind of like following everyone else around. They're kind of risking it to do what they want to do. So he reached out to us and he was like, hey, you go here, give me some pictures and videos, I'll send you some money. And we're like, okay. So we go with just me and Routing Midwest the second time. And it was pretty intense. We jumped over the same spot that we did last time and all that, but I don't think there was a security car that like went right to us. So maybe in that one spot it was like no motion. If there was motion, 'cause
Yeah, we had no
still don't know.
planning.
Yeah, we just kind of took the same route, and we realized that there was people there, like a lot of people. There was construction going on the entire first floor, and there was like a business meeting because all these cars were parking in the right side of the building where the garage doors were. There's like that whole parking lot was full of just random people. Like people were getting out with suits on and stuff, and we're like, damn. So we're like trying to find a way in because like to the courtyard, the gate was wide open, which it wasn't last time because the construction cars were going in and out. And one time we're looking in, and I look behind us, and one's like rounding the corner, and I like grab Roddy and I throw him behind a tree. I'm just like, dude, you almost saw it. And he goes by, goes in, and we end up just going around on the top floor because so how they had them locked is with wooden, just like a bunch of wood. They had it like in the door so you couldn't open them, not the actual door lock. They just had pieces of wood blocking it. So we made it in, and we're just kind of exploring, taking pictures. I was taking pictures, and Ronnie was taking videos so we can send them to Decaying Midwest, because that was really our only goal at the time, was to do that for them. And there was one time on the first floor where we got like 5 feet from someone. We didn't see him. We're around this corner being really quiet. We heard footsteps, and I
Going down an
motioned with my
elevator.
hand to go. Going down an elevator?
Yeah, remember you were gonna take a picture of me on the elevator?
No, that was the second time. I'm talking about the first time.
second. Oh,
Yeah, the first time it was around a corner, and they're like, we hear walking like 5 feet from us. I turn, look at him, and I motion with my hand. We just start sprinting, and we run to the other side of the building. We didn't see him. We didn't look back, and we're like, do we leave? And I was like, nah. So we go up to the 3rd floor, or whatever floor it is. I forget how many floors there are, but we're still taking pictures, trying to kind of like speed run it so we're not like overstaying our welcome. And we make it onto the balcony that kind of overlooks everything. And as we're leaving, we're gonna get a picture of the marble room that the escalator goes down. And I was backing up into the marble room because that's where we kind of started. We walked up those stairs, and I was backing up to take a picture of Rotting on the escalator. And as I'm backing up into the center of the room, we hear a crash at the other side of the room. And right around the corner, there was like a janitor or a construction worker that just dropped something. And we sprint right back up the escalator, back to the top floor. And we're sitting up there. We're like, huh, what do we do now? It's like, yeah, let's just go out the main door. So we walk down, just trying to be quiet, but not like as quiet as we can. And we just go out, and we're like, you know what? This is the last time here. And we walked slowly through the parking lot, and we took a video of it. And we're trying to get a security car to like see us and just come racing at us, so we can sprint away and get it on video. And it never happened. We just walked out. But it's kind of
You describing that gives me so much anxiety because I think about, has that ever happened to me? Did that ever happen? Was I ever one of those guards that's like, there's just a kid around the corner? Because like we had there's one guy I worked with. I wasn't there that night, but he's just on patrol. It's him and the supervisor. So there's only 2 guys in the building, and he stumbles upon some teenage kid with his girlfriend, and he's like, yeah, but he's like, yeah, I'll just show you guys out. It's okay, you got lost, because they like tried to sell him on something like, oh, we got lost, we ended up in here. And the entire time he's like keying the radio so that way the guy in dispatch knows that he's coming back with people, and because it's just him. That's how we did it. It was 90% of the time, with the exception of like maybe a month out of the year, it was one person patrolling the building, one person outside, and one person in the dispatch office, monitoring everything and watching cameras. And there were nights where it was just the person in dispatch and the person patrolling, and man, that sucked. Because if an alarm goes off, guess who has to go check out the alarm with a flashlight and a set of keys? Nothing else. Yeah, it was awful. Did you guys, while you guys were there, you guys see anything? I don't know. Well, I'll just be very open about it. Anything haunting-ish? while you guys were there? Anything a little supernatural?
I mean, apart from the fact that we never saw the people that were like right next to us. I mean,
Really?
you could like the dude that because it was literally around the corner. It was at the if you're looking at the building from this train station, it was at the far left,
Mm-hmm.
second floor. It was like a maroon colored room. I forget. It was a weird. It was
That
like,
was. Oh God, I know what that's called. Oh, I can't remember what that's called. I know exactly what room you're talking about, though. It's very tacky, maroon and gold.
yeah, that one.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we're like in that heading towards the train station, like in the room.
Mhm.
And it was right around a corner in that room. Not like in the room, but I don't know how to describe it. We came from the room, and there was like a hallway to the left that kind of led into, I think, the marble room. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it led into the. I don't know if it's even marble, but you know what I'm talking about? Quartz,
Mhm.
like that kind
Yeah.
of colored.
Yeah.
And right around that corner, it was literally like 5 feet from us, right around the corner, and we ran. And
Did you
like,
did you ever see him then, or
no,
you didn't?
like
You didn't see him,
we,
but you heard footsteps.
Like he definitely heard
Yeah,
us
we-
run.
Okay.
Like,
and I
we
feel
were
like he would have
loud.
looked because we definitely like looked back as we were running when we were like rounding a corner where we were about to not be seen by him, and it
Mhm.
was just no one was there. Like we were a good like 20 feet away, and they definitely would have like looked around and be like, "Hey, there's people there." Especially if we're running away, he's not gonna be like going somewhere else. He'd be looking at us and like
Mhm.
calling it in. But we never saw him. And the second time, wherever the crash came from, it was in that open room. It was like right there, and we also never saw him.
Okay. I mean,
So
I'm telling you, I had experiences like that, and like as security, I went and checked. We didn't see anything. Like we had stuff crash and fall over and stuff like that. Didn't see like even like if a stack of plates fell, didn't see the plates or anything. The top floor, the floor with the green carpet, that
Yeah.
was what was called the penthouse. That's the one with the balconies.
yeah,
That one was definitely the worst floor because like people had actually died up there. There's a one politician that fell and another that had a heart attack.
I'd
on that
assume
floor.
because it's a bunch of old rich guys, and they just kind of
Yeah.
come there
Oh,
to waste all their
yeah,
money and die.
Exactly. And that was called Penthouse Suite because the guy who used to own the track had an actual penthouse in there where he lived. But this was back in like the 70s. I can't remember his name. His kids wanted nothing to do with the place or anything.
We
Which is
actually
why-
had, sorry if I cut you off. We had the grandson of the owner of the building
Mhm.
reach out to us, or the previous owner before the Bears bought it, reach out to us. His name was Henry Green, I think,
Okay.
asking for pictures, and he paid us like $20 or something for
Really?
some pictures of the building.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Mr. B? Was it a B? I think it was a B or something. I can't remember. Old like defense contractor money. Like they like was one of the companies that made like ammo for World War II. So like they had all of the money. But that floor, you could that floor you felt people like someone was watching you on that floor all the time.
I agree.
It's very like there are cameras on that floor, but it's not like that's not it. It would feel like there's someone like going into the rooms was awful. It was even worse during like the off season because they would turn off the lights up there, so it was just you and a flashlight in the dark. That was not a great time.
Now imagine having to walk through those places drunk.
That never happened. How dare you?
Yeah, while you guys were in there, did you ever see a large drunk man with his neck bent at
Honestly,
90
now that you say
degrees?
that, maybe.
Because that large man with his neck bent is on this call.
Oh,
I was in college. I don't know what you want from me, but I'd say the worst experience I had in that building was. Did you guys ever go into this was like the locker room for the jockeys? Did you ever go in there?
is that like outside of like the main building?
Yeah, it's outside. It's
we
one
never
of the.
we never went to the side buildings.
You never went into the side buildings.
No.
So one of those buildings is we called it the IRB. So it was like the racing board for Illinois. So like all of like the state people were in there. And then below that was the locker room for the jockeys. On the second floor, one time I'm walking through that building or walking through, after this thing, like this happened, I never went in that floor again my entire time there. And that was like a year and a half. Walking down the hallway, I'm checking doors, making sure doors are like latched. Pull on the men's bathroom door. It's latched. I make sure it's latched. Take 2 steps. I'm reaching for the women's bathroom door. And the men's bathroom door behind me opens and slams shut. I'm now standing there like, okay, who's here? I check both rooms. And like the door was unlatched now. And I check both rooms at nothing. I'm like, all right, no, I think I'm done. And I never went into that building again. That was that place 100% haunted. And if Jeff were here, he'd tell you the same thing because he like felt the eyes watching you and shit.
So you check the room that the door slammed and
Yep.
there was nothing in there?
Nothing in there, no one in there, nothing.
Holy shit.
The door just slammed shut, unlatched and slammed shut on its own.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So Arlington is probably what your biggest exploration so far, or would you say no?
It's
But
that was May. I don't know. It's definitely top 3, but
top 3.
Most
we've come
risky.
definitely
Okay,
most
so
risky,
it's most risky. Okay.
but we've come a pretty far way on cool places.
All right. Well, talk about those places then.
We have actually a lot. Like one of my favorites is a hospital that was in Illinois and the MRI machine was still there. And it had
I
the
think
morgue.
I saw that video.
That one was
Yeah.
haunted. Oh my god.
That one.
That one, there was you could tell the story
Oh.
on that one.
Every like sliding door, not sliding doors, the swinging doors, you know how there's double doors in hospitals. So we would have items in between because they'd lock from one side. So we always put like some item, like whether it's a garbage can, a piece of wood. Every single time we did that, well, not every single time, but like we'd come back and it would just be completely moved. Like one time we had a piece of wood, like it was a square, probably an inch thick, 1 foot by 1 foot. And we put it down like flat on the ground. So like a table. And we just sat down like that. And it was just high enough to block both doors. And we came back to it and it was upright. And like there was times where it would just be completely different. And then I'm pretty sure once there was a fan that was on, and then when we came back, it was off. I'm pretty sure that kind of is a bit vague in my head. But that was really cool. We were looking at cops through the outside because they figured out we were there, and we were down this long hallway, and we saw the exit door. And there was a cop that walked by, and we're like, "Oh, time to leave."
Have you
I
guys
swear.
ever been caught?
So
Yes.
I actually have I wrote down a list of our police contact. Now, been caught. I don't really know if we've been caught. So
Never been ticketed.
yeah,
Okay.
and we
They've just
never been
asked you to
actually.
leave politely yet verbally.
Yes.
We haven't been like actually caught. So the first time was at Northridge Mall. Super well known. It's one of the first places that I've been to. Super trash. Every time we've gone there, we've seen like 2 groups of people there because it's just always people there. And we parked at an apartment building that was kind of close. And when Rodden got a phone call and it said,
We
"You
were
have
like an
5
hour Ando exploring.
Yeah, it was after a group of 8 came. We were hiding on the roof and we are throwing snowballs at them to fuck with them. Of this giant mall, we're hiding on the roof and we're just throwing snowballs at these kids so they leave. And like right after that, so I think someone saw them because they're being loud, they're being obnoxious, and they were running with a group of 8 people. And Rodney got a phone call and it was like, "You have 5 minutes to get out here, or we're towing your car and you're going to jail." We're like,
Oh.
"Oh,
Keep in mind, we're probably about 15-minute walk.
Oh.
15-minute walk. I don't know about 15-minute
Okay,
walk.
maybe like 10, but like
yeah,
we
10 minutes.
sprinted and it was still over 5 minutes.
And he called you while we were sprinting. He was like, "I'm not fucking around, dude. You better get out here." And we so we're running with our group. We had 4 people, and we make it out, and the cop car's already
The
sitting
walk
there.
of
And we,
shame. The walk of shame. There was a fence we jumped over. There was a fence we jumped over. It was a pitch black. The cop car had its high beat, like it had its, what is it called? Like its spotlight pointed at
Yeah.
us as we were walking out with our heads down, slowly coming to the cop cars with the headlight following us. Ugh.
and he was talking to us, and he was like, someone burned down this building and a firefighter got injured. How do I know that you guys aren't arsonists? I was like, well, we're not. He was like, how do I know? I was like, I don't know. I don't have a lighter
The
on me. I
building's
don't
not
have,
on fire.
yeah, the building's not on fire. I don't have a fucking flamethrower in my pocket. Like, you can check me if you want. And then so it was this like American male and then this Chinese dude. And like, I swear to God, this dude was racist because he was like, 'cause we're asking about the building. We're like, I forgot the exact question, but we asked about like who owned it. He was like, oh yeah, this Chinese company. And he looked at the Chinese dude. He was like, right? You guys own it? And he was like, oh yeah. And then that was it. And then they were just like, don't be doing that. People can get hurt. And we're like, yeah, we just like to take pictures because that's what we always say when we talk to cops is,
Mhm.
yeah, we just like to take pictures. We never have intent to break anything unless like Northridge, yeah, we'll throw shit because it's so decayed. Like there's chairs and
You
walls.
can literally
there's-
look it up and the address comes up on Google.
Yeah, you could look up abandoned mall and the exact
It's the
coordinates
first thing
to
that
Northridge
it's
will
the
come up.
first thing that
Jeez.
comes up if you look up abandoned mall.
That's how well known. There's always people there. It's so
Yeah,
bad. Like
they
the
got
entire
bought out
bottom
and they locked
floors.
it. They have hella security now.
Yeah, so like that's kind of our rule. It's like we won't destroy places unless it's
Mhm.
already far gone, and we don't even like try to destroy it. We'll just like throw a fucking chair at a wall if it's already the wall's already gone.
Mhm.
And yeah, we told the cop we're like, yeah, we take pictures. We kind of do this thing called urbex. We give them the whole spiel of how it's kind of exploring abandoned places, and we only like to take pictures to preserve the history of the place and stuff like that. And then they're usually like, all right, you seem like a good kid. You can go. And that's pretty much what happened. They're like, don't come back, or like, it will be worse next time. So that was the first time of talking to cops, which caught, yes, but caught by them actually catching us.
You forgot it. How they didn't call my phone. They called.
Oh yeah, they called your dad.
Yeah. So at the time, my car wasn't registered under my name. It was under my father's, and my dad got the call from the cops. So that did turn out let's say that didn't turn out very well. He was not happy.
Are your guys like parents supportive of this little social media endeavor? Like, is it like
So
basically the same thing as like just going for hiking to them, or 'cause that's
they
really what
know
you guys
I
are
do
doing.
it. They know I do it. They don't like it, but
Mhm.
as long as like I stay safe, which I do mostly,
Mhm.
it's not too bad. But yeah, Flepsy, he can talk.
Yeah, your dad doesn't really like it at all. But his mom, I talked to his mom, and she said that it's really cool if it wasn't his kid. And then she told me how to tell him. So she likes it, but she just doesn't like the fact that it's her son
Mhm.
doing it. And my mom, I don't really talk to her much, but she kind of just tells me to be safe. My dad didn't like it, really. He's just like, it's just breaking the law. I was like, I mean, yeah, but it's not like I'm doing drugs and all that.
Mhm.
But he
Do you
Of
guys-
all the laws I could break, I think I'm okay.
honestly, yeah, that's kind of how I think about it. I'm just like, Dad, like I just kind of sit here, I go to these places and I take pictures.
You're
And you're worried
recording
about this.
history, which
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
like that is a really cool thing to do in your spare time.
And it's not like it's all about the history. I'm not just like, oh, I want the history. I'm not saying it's like that. Like, of course, we like going to the place and like it's just the thrill of it, but it's also for the history. But I'm not saying I'm just like, oh, strictly history. I'm just like, yeah, bro, this is history. Don't disrespect it.
I've only ever been in one abandoned building in my life, and it was the most horrifying experience I've ever had. I used to live in the Upper Peninsula, and there was an old abandoned school, like old school, like 4-room, like 4 classrooms, like the traditional, like early 1900s or like late 1800s school, and it was fully abandoned, falling apart. And I used to play hockey, and so my entire team went to this school and like broke in, and we're just walking around, and it was said to be extremely haunted. And we go into one of the classrooms, and there's like a shrine to all of the dead children and spirits in the school. And we were all like, all right, like I think this is time to leave now. So we all left. It was the sketchiest thing I've ever done in my life. We were terrified. And as we're leaving, the other two guys that were in my car, we like are sitting there, and we're like, one of our other teammates was like terrified. Like he was like on the verge of tears the entire time. And so we're sitting in the car as everyone's pulling away, and we're like, hold on. Like, what if we go back into the school and take one of the stuffed animals from the shrine,
I forgot
and
you did tell me this. I know what you. Oh, I forgot about
and
this. Oh.
and hide it in this guy's room? This guy, this one teammate, he was in college, and his roommate was one of our teammates as well. So we called his teammate, or like my teammate, who's roommate, and we're like, "Hey, can you help us out with this?" And he's like, "Absolutely, this is fucking hilarious." So me and these two other guys went back into the school, grabbed this stuffed animal, ran out, and then we wrote a little note with someone's like left hand, so it was like pretty creepy writing of "you shouldn't have visited me," and we put it on the stuffed animal, and we handed it off to our teammate, and he went and he hid it next to the guy who was terrified's pillow. By the time that he got back into his dorm that night, because we all went to like hang out at all together as a team, and by the time he got back at night, it was so late and so dark in the room that he didn't even notice it. So he fell asleep and then woke up, rolled over, and this stuffed animal with this note was staring at him when he woke up. And that was probably the funniest thing I've ever done in my entire life.
That sounds awesome.
I made this guy think that he was being haunted for breaking into an old abandoned school.
That's a core
Like,
memory
it
of
was
him now.
great. Yeah.
That shaped his life.
Yeah, like
He's now terrified of Webkins.
He'll never forgive you.
It was like a little like lamb from like like Valentine's Day kind of lamb. Like it was.
If you were to do
But
that to me, I'd never talk to you again.
It was so funny, and it was funnier because like his roommate was sitting there when the guy got into the dorm and was pretending to be asleep with his phone out so that way he could like get the reaction, and the fucker just went to bed like and fell asleep immediately. Like he was like, like I will never know how he reacts because I can't, like, I don't know what time he wakes up, so I have no idea. But yeah,
Fuck.
it was funny. And we like did not tell him that we did it for like 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Like he thought he was like legitimately being haunted
should have
by
like
these
placed
kids.
it. Should have placed it like around areas where he would see.
He threw the thing out, and like we weren't gonna like go digging through the college's garbage to find the stuffed animal. But yeah, it was great.
Well, I'm not sleeping tonight. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, so you guys, so the hospital and Northridge and Arlington, what is your favorite, and then what was your favorite, the hospital or Northridge? I can't remember. I'm losing my mind apparently.
Hospital was probably our favorite. Northridge was one of our first.
Okay. What is an abandoned building or a building that, if it could be abandoned, would you most want to explore?
So the less the people know about it, the less activity has been there, the just the least amount of activity possible is the better. If there's graffiti there, it's ruined. If there's doors opened already and like bunch of shattered stuff, it's ruined. Everything ripped apart, it's not good. If the building's already like too moldy and everything, it's not that good. So we're mostly looking for places that preferably have gone abandoned within the last like 10 years, maybe 20, depending on how well they stay up, you know. But anything that is in pristine quality still is definitely the best. Because anyone can just go around and find buildings that have graffiti and crap and well known. And
Anyone can find a crack house.
yeah, anyone can find a crack house basically. But when it really comes to like finding good places, you need to really look for them. Takes hours.
Okay. Would you guys ever do like those like abandoned subway tunnels in like Chicago or New York? Would you guys ever like go like find the like
Yeah, I actually have a
original
funny
cities
story.
after
So-
like
We actually, before like we were really like popular at all, like before we really talked to any other urbexers, we reached out to we reached out one of our friends actually now, because he posted something. He called it the catacombs in Chicago, and he didn't really show that much in the video, but the catacombs, like think about it, that's like massive underground skull, like sounds cool.
Yeah.
So we trade our literally like, our best spot at the time, which isn't that good now. I mean, it's still pretty cool, but we trade like our best spot at the time to get this place from this guy. And we drive, Chicago's pretty far. So we drive a while, like over 2 hours to get there, just so we get to this place. And we're like, wait a minute. How did we get here? Wait, it's under a bridge? So we park in like a Wendy's parking lot or something. I don't even know. And we examine this place for like an hour before we even go in. And we're like, okay, we're going to wait for these cars and we're just going to send it underneath this fence and get in. So we go under a fence. We do a little loop around. The fence is covering the road, so we're fine. We don't really have to hide that much. We walk around and we enter underneath this bridge. This bridge is probably like the size of like someone's living room. Okay, I'm exaggerating. It's maybe like 2 times the size of someone's living room, but it's not
like a
big.
house, like
Yeah.
a normal house.
Okay. And we were really let down. You know what it was? It was a drawbridge. it was underneath a drawbridge.
And then to top it all off, one of Chicago's biggest raves happened under that drawbridge.
Oh, yeah. It was one of like the
the
first.
next week.
It was literally next week. It was probably one of like the most well-known Chicago raves, and every single person knows about it now.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, it was
So-
literally just one floor, and it was like just under this drawbridge. That was the catacombs that we wanted so bad.
Have you guys seen, I don't know if there's a ton of videos about it, but like the city underneath, like the loop that was like the basically like Chicago before the fire, and that like they just kind of like built on top of it?
Yeah, we've heard
Yeah,
about that.
We've been looking for that.
We honestly don't even know where it is.
Really? All right.
Yeah.
My mom actually, I think, knows where those are. So if she can remember, I'll
Oh
let
yeah.
you guys know
Yeah.
where
Let
it
it,
is. I'll hook you guys up, and then y'all better come back on for
I got
when you
you.
explore that.
Well, I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, ever
That's-
since we were scammed with the drawbridge, we just kind of stopped looking for it. 'Cause
Yeah, we
saw that,
honestly,
we're like,
okay,
oh,
we
we
obviously
want to
haven't
find
really
this.
looked.
Because like she was telling me like there's like entire streets and subways underneath like First National, I think. But I mean, granted, this was like 30 years ago. Probably closer to like 45 years ago. So I'm sure that stuff has moved, but like I can at least point you in like the direction of what building to look at.
I'm sure we could find it if we looked hard enough, but we're
Yeah.
just so let down from the other place that
You guys were expecting the Paris
Yeah.
catacombs and you came away with the broom closet.
basically.
Adam, any questions?
I'm good for right now.
You good for right now? All right. Let's see.
I have more things I can talk about. I have a list of intense moments we've had. I have more
Oh,
times we've encountered police.
yeah, sure. Tell me about these intense moments, if anything beats having random footsteps in Arlington and
There's
random
something-
TVs or fans turning off in a hospital.
So this one is kind of recent. It was
it's a
not,
good one.
yeah, this is a pretty good one. There was this
I'm still
school that we're
recovering.
getting into, and we had a scout and everything. So
Oh, wow. You guys had a whole operation to get
yeah,
in
we
there?
had a whole operation for this place.
Yeah, it was a 2-time.
And-
It was a 2x mission.
So our buddy went. It was an elementary school, and our buddy went there as a kid, and he was like, "Yeah, I know this place. It's abandoned now." We're like, "Okay." So we go there, and one of the most common ways that me and Rodding like to get into buildings is climbing up the wall and getting in, because me and him are both very athletically inclined, and good at climbing things. So we just climb walls and then find a hatch, because like most people forget about those. And so we climb up this building, go in the hatch, and usually our recon mission is running through and just grabbing motion detectors and like flipping them around or doing whatever we can, unplugging cameras, just trying to do whatever we can. And like this one, the motion detectors were so stuck in that we just kind of like were hitting them with our flashlight so they'd stop working, which is usually kind of against our code. We hate breaking things, but like it was pretty. We wanted to this time, so we were kind of just running through trying to break these motion detectors, and like,
There was one
eh,
in every single room.
yeah, it was pretty
It
bad.
was crazy.
I like how you started off going to like give an actual reason of why you did that, why you decided to break things, and you went, "Nah, we just won."
This
Well,
place was worth it. Schools are cool if they're not like ruined.
Yeah,
This
and it
school
was like
pristine.
no
There
one's
was
been in
zero
there.
graffiti.
Is that
No
like
one's been
your
in.
favorite type of building to explore as a school?
Let's just say that we'll go above and beyond if the place is pristine quality.
Okay.
One of my favorites is churches. I have so many beautiful churches.
Oh, that sounds absolutely awful.
It is, but they're so beautiful in like the sun, and it's just you, and it's quiet, and like they have like the windows.
And there's a
and we-
lot. There's a lot of
yeah,
churches.
That's probably one of our most number one amount of spots is churches.
Really?
'Cause
Okay.
There's so many that are abandoned for some reason. I don't know the logistic behind it, but there's a lot.
Mhm.
But so we go into this building. We have our scout, and then we're just kind of running through, breaking these motion detectors, and we leave. And then we come back another time with 4 people. We have a scout, and we go back, and they have a chain on the what do you call it? I just said it. The hatch. The hatch. A chain, and we had to get the bolt cutters and cut it. Which that's mostly Rodding's thing. He carries around a little Mickey
Without
Mouse
me.
surprise tool bag.
You just got your little bag of tricks.
I got a whole bag of tricks.
Bolt cutter. Do you guys know how to like pick locks? Is that something you guys?
That's Flepsy's thing.
Is that
I'm
it?
not
Okay.
very good at it, but I did do that, so we didn't have to be so aggressive in some places. Because like we don't want to break things to get in, but some of them
Mhm.
like you have to, and we'll cut a lock or two. Because like who cares about a
And
lock? They'll-
sometimes you want to.
It's like motion detectors.
Well, we wanted to go in. We didn't want to get caught, so we wanted to go in. It's not I wanted to destroy things. I wanted to get in the building without there being any risk. So we were destroying them because I wanted to explore the place without the owners or the police showing up. Yeah, so the second time we open this hatch, and it's like a story and a half building, so it's kind of like really weird, weirdly sized. It's not just 1 story and it's not 2 stories. Because like it's 1 story, but then it goes up another level where the hatch was. And so we get the bolt cutters, cut this chain, and then we climb down these pipes down this like story and a half to get to the
They
door.
removed the ladder.
Yeah, they removed the ladder, so we climbed down pipes, and it was like the storage closet that it was in, and then they locked the door too. So there was also crowbar involved in this one.
it keeps escalating.
Against my will.
I swear we don't like to break
Oh, we
things.
carry
don't, we
around
don't, we
bolt
don't.
cutters and a crowbar.
That's desperate measures.
We
That's for
that
desperate
that
measures.
stays in Rodding's car. That's his spiel. That's not mine. I don't completely agree with his ways, but I agree with them when it
A single tear sheds every time the crowbar gets pulled out.
he's like, don't worry, I got this. Like, damn it. And he's hacking at this door, and I have an AirPod in talking to our scout, and then I start climbing in there because he's just going ham on this door, and it's just
Next, they
I'm
broke
like,
out the fire axe.
yeah. So
The jaws of life are coming out.
So we start off the chainsaw next.
Yeah.
No, but so I'm talking to our scout, and he's sitting on the corner, and all of a sudden he's just like, "You guys need to go out there." And we're just like, "What?" And he doesn't respond for like 5 minutes. I'm just like, "All right, Rodney, be quiet." So we're sitting there for like a few minutes, and he's like, "The cops are here." I was like, "What?" So this dude was outside screaming on the phone, calling the cops, and we're in
Our
this.
scout was
girl
hiding
that
in a bush next to the guy that was calling.
Yeah, he was on the corner. So it was this corner with a fence, and like the fence was covered in like these weeds. So he was just like in the wall, like he was arms crossed in this fucking tree line, like 5 feet from this dude, swinging his arms in the air, screaming, and he's just
Doing his best Fortnite cosplay. Jeez.
And so we're like, shit. So we climb up these pipes, get out, and the bolt cutters were given to my cousin, and I see the cop, and we go down the other side of the roof, and he drops the bolt cutters in the grass and then gets down. He forgets them. And we're running around this block, and oh yeah, I forgot one of the most important parts. So my cousin, we gave his phone to our scout because his phone was at 6%. So we gave him our cousin's phone so we could still keep contact without the risk of the phone dying.
Yeah, keep that in mind.
Fully
So-
charged your phone before.
Yeah,
before-
he's kind
before-
of. This dude isn't very smart. Our scout was kind of like, but that's why he was our scout and not on the mission. And so we jump down off this building. We're sprinting through these neighborhoods away from the car, and we're kind of together. We're kind of like separated, but we can all still see each other. And we're like hiding. We run through these yards, and we are hiding between this bush because, like, at this point, there's like 7 cop cars going through the neighborhoods, and we're hiding behind this bush as the cop passes, and we're like rotating around it. And our cousin, not our cousin, my cousin, he decides to just start running through backyards. And we're like,
He leaves us.
okay.
He leaves us. He leaves us. Just starts
Jeez.
going on his own mission.
So me and Rotting are just kind of like smart about things and don't like to cause havoc. My cousin is more of like the party every day and do whatever he wants to do. So he's running through these backyards. I'm just like, okay, you're gonna get dead by a dog or something, shot, whatever it is. We're in a sketchy place anyways, like everyone's got a gun. And we get split up. We sprint back to the car after 20 minutes of just like hiding just between like trees and just kind of like rotating around this tree as cops pass. And this whole time I still have my AirPod in with our scout, and he was just sitting in the corner of this tree line, just like
Oh, still,
Yeah,
still 5 feet
as
from the
cops
cops.
are
Dude.
yeah. And like now cops are walking by him too, and he's freaking out. He's like, Flepsy, what do I do? Flepsy, what do I do? And as we're sprinting, as we're running away from these cops, like I'm just like, be safe. Don't do anything dumb. And I'm like trying to coach him as we're sprinting through these neighborhoods. As I'm like making sure that Rotting's also safe because I had to pull him between some bushes before because I'm really good in high pressure situations, as proven before. And I like had to like be telling our scout what to do. Had to like pull Rotting
Keep in
between
mind.
things.
Keep in mind. I have this crowbar up my ass the whole time. Just keep in mind that.
I forgot you had that on you.
Yeah.
And he's like, what do I do? Do I go back to the car? Blah, blah, blah. Because he's really close to the car because we parked right around the corner. It's like, go when you think it's safe. So he's like, okay. So he goes back to the car. We finally make it back to the car and we're just sitting. So his car, Rotting's car is like 5% tint. I think it's like 10%, but it's super dark. But like, if a cop came up and shone his flashlight in it, you'd be able to see it easy. And this was a pretty hot night. So now 3 of us are in the car. Our scout, me, and Rotting. We have my cousin's phone, and he's still wherever. It is now 11:24 or 11:27, whatever time it was. I think I checked, and we're sitting there, and it's super hot. We were just sprinting, like we're all
The windows
sweaty,
are completely fog.
because we can't turn the car on because like all these cops are passing, and we like rotate our chair back, and like every cop that goes by, like pulls out and then pulls to where like they're facing our car so they can shine the spotlight in. And I think because there's tint, he couldn't tell that the windows were foggy because he would have definitely checked. but they kept on shining their spotlight and going past really slow, shining their spotlight in the
They're
windows.
like within 2 feet of us driving by.
And we didn't want to leave because we had our cousin's phone. Like, he couldn't do anything.
We don't
It's
know if he
either
got
we left him
caught.
and he had to find a way home after like the hour away we were, or whatever he had to do. And we're just like, okay, we'll give him 30 minutes. So like it is 12:54 now, and these cops kept on going by. It kind of calmed down at that end, which was either he's caught or they gave up. And we're losing hope. It is 12:54. Like, no, 12:56. 4 minutes before we're about to go. I don't know if we're gonna go. We like kind of are like, would we have left at the 30-minute mark, or would we stayed a little bit longer? We don't know. But he finally comes, gets in the car. He's like, oh my God, I ran through so many backyards. So many cops saw me. I was like, oh my God. But we made it out with everyone and everything was fine. And it was so intense, but so fun because like just the thrill of it.
My Apple Watch told me to settle down because my heart rate was too high. I'm not even lying.
So here's gonna be the final question of the night. So after everything, what is the most rewarding? What do you guys love the most? A clean escape where no one knows you're there, or having the cops on your ass and having to hide in a bush for an hour and a half?
It's honestly a 50-50. Like, if we can get in successfully without being seen, and we can take all of our pictures, all of our videos, we don't have to worry about having to check a door every 5 seconds or look out the window to see if we're surrounded by cops, that's super good for us. But yet again, that's not where all the adrenaline comes from, and we're obviously adrenaline junkies that want to have some fun. So on our escape, or like maybe like as we're almost finishing up taking all our photos and we want to leave, if we see a cop or two pull up, I mean, like, we're going to be freaking out, but it's going to be in a good way, and we're going to come up with a plan, and we're going to escape them. Flepsy,
Yeah.
you can add to that.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with that. Like it's both of them is fun. Like I love going in a building, like taking the picture, blah blah blah, and then just being done with it, and then like nothing happening. But then there's also that factor when you know you're caught, that's like, and the trying to get away, that's also super fun because like security, like we'll never like do anything that'll harm them, but like just running away, like it's just a really awesome thrill, and that's different with a lot of people, especially urbexers, because me and Rotting are different from most because we don't break things, but we also love the adrenaline. So we'll like in Arlington, I walked across the parking lot for like 10 minutes trying to find a security guard that would like chase us with their car. And there's times where like we've been in places and the cops are surrounding us, and we'll like one of us will go out and we'll use them as a scout and like tell us where they are and like just like be smart about it and not get caught. You know, usually it works out and it's super fun in the process. So it's 50-50 between the two.
All right, that makes sense from everything I understand about urban exploration. Absolute sounds totally horrifying.
It's not a hobby for everyone.
No, like I said, I didn't want to do it, and I was getting a check.
Nick, next time I go into an abandoned school, I'll make sure I bring a stuffed animal to
Please
you.
don't. Please no.
I'll
I'd
assist.
greatly
I think that-
appreciate it if you didn't.
You guys should now ship Nick something creepy from one of your
Oh,
your
yeah,
hunts.
We sometimes take creepy items.
Ah. And it's
We
so
actually,
fun.
yeah, we actually found we found a lot of cults in like areas. Really weird. Like little like what are those pentagons? We'll find like
Yep.
last time we went to a place, we found like a dead body, literally a
So
dead body.
actually, if you guys want
Wait,
to go
hold
over
on,
the
what?
hour, we can go. That's a pretty good story. I have a lot
Yeah,
written
let's
No,
hear
down.
it.
no, we're gonna hear about the dead body.
Let's-
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
So-
good story. That's a good one. Start from the beginning. Start from the beginning
yeah.
in winter.
So we go in winter, probably. I don't know what
End
What
of
it
winter.
is.
End of winter.
end of winter, probably like February-ish, maybe March, and it's just this big warehouse and TV place because there's a bunch of TV piled up and they're like in bags. And like as we're walking through this, I realized that there's like household items, like random things. Like there was a Guitar Hero thing, one of the main ones I remember, plates, just like all of this junk, and it was like piled up in hall. So it was like 4 feet tall on both sides of you, but you could still see the ground, and it was like actual like hallways of
This is
just
a big building.
trash.
Keep in mind, like
Yeah,
football
this is
size.
massive, and like I'm recording it. Someone could be living, and as I say that, this dude pops out, and he's like, "What are you doing?"
Oh,
And it's just this
God.
homeless guy, and like he kind of follows on. He was like, "What are you doing here? You shouldn't be here." We were like, blah blah blah, and we didn't really like. We were scared, but like
And that's when they pull out the crowbar.
yeah, so we pulled out the crowbar that's still up Ronnie's ass.
That dead body that we were talking about, we made it.
Yo, chill.
And he's just kind of weird, and he kind of just told us, and we shouldn't be there. So we're like, so we come back April with food to see if he was still there. This is the first time we ever seen a homeless guy.
This is months later.
Yeah, so a month or two, April 22nd of 20, and we bring him some food. It was some mandarin oranges, and I forget what else. And we give it to him. And he seems a lot nicer, and he's just kind of like, he remembered us as soon as we walked in. This has been like a month or two, maybe even 3
We had
months.
face masks on and everything.
Yeah, we had face masks the first time. I don't think I did, but Roddy, when we came in, he was right around the doorway. Like he jump scared Roddy. And he walked in, he was like, "What are you guys doing here again?" He recognized us that fast. And we're just like, "Oh, we came here to bring you food, and we're just wondering if like you'd be okay if we look around. Like it's fine. I get you staying here." He was super adamant about that. He'd be like, "I'm not staying here. I move place to place." Which I guess he
I'm
was
just
really
here for months at a time.
it was kind of sad because like you could tell he wanted to have like a better life, but so we gave him the food. He seemed really joyous about it. He still followed us on. He was like, "You guys really shouldn't be here. How'd you find this place?" But he was also like, "Oh, did you see this room? It was a party room." So like you could tell he didn't really have much human contact because like he was like weird between this. I don't know whether I should tell these guys to get out because like he doesn't want to be caught because he thinks that we're like gonna tell police that he's there or something. But he was also like so excited to like talk to someone that he wanted to have conversations with us. And we kind of went through the whole building that time because he was fine with it. He was like, "Yeah, I don't care. Just be quick." We went through, took our pictures, and we left. Now we came last month or at the beginning of this month, I think, and we found a dead body, and it was a skeleton. Like pants were on, nothing else.
Oh,
And it was skin and like not even skin and bones. Like the skin was there, but it was like hard plastic drooping between the bones. And like there was like you could tell it was there for a very
not the dude.
it was him.
Him.
It
Wait,
was
what?
'cause
So what was the time
this,
difference?
that was back in April,
Okay,
and this
when you saw him the
was
second time.
yeah.
So it was like 3 months
3
later.
months.
Bodies
Yeah.
can
Was
decay
April 3 months ago?
within like a few weeks. They start like completely.
Yeah.
It depends on the
Especially
humidity.
especially
Oh,
especially
No
in
AC.
summer. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's no AC in the
But-
building.
The reason why we knew
Shh,
it was him.
my story.
Well, continue with them.
So I took videos April 22nd, the second time we saw him when we were actually talking to him. I had my phone to my side and I was recording upside down just so I can get a clip of this homeless guy. So I was thinking about posting it. I don't think I ever found this homeless guy, blah, blah, blah. So I have videos of him and he was, and when we found this dead body and we called the cops and they actually shimmied the door open with a knife. That was the
Oh.
craziest part. We're like, yeah, we climbed in through this hole in the fence and we went through this back door that was open. They're like, okay. He pulls out a knife and just, okay, you've had experience. I like it. And like these,
Can you teach me?
I think there was 4 cops that went inside and then 1 cop that stayed out there and talked to us. I was like, actually, I have pictures of him that I think might be him. And as I pulled up I also took pictures of the body that I'm not going to share anywhere. I just wanted to like have that to like, not have it, but like I just took pictures of it to take pictures of it. I don't know if that's disrespectful. I compared the pants. It was the exact same Adidas pants. It had like on the bottom right leg, and it was like from calf down. That said Adidas, and like the cop was like, "Yep, that's It's kind of really weird. Like we met this homeless guy,
Yeah.
and then we found him.
Probably gave him his last meal.
Oh, Midwest, if you want to plug yourself, and if you also want to plug
Plug
Flepsy.
Flepsy.
All right, you can find me on TikTok and Instagram, rotting.midwest.
And you can find me on TikTok and also Instagram at Flepsy89. And I do a whole lot of shit, explore places, climb shit that I shouldn't be, doing dangerous shit.
Very
Clearly, yeah. I'm excited to see what you guys do in the future. Like that, this is really cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you guys so much for coming on. I'm glad we were able to make this work.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Yeah, no problem.
yeah, Adam, take us out.
Nick, why don't you take us out?
I don't know.
You never take us out.
You think I know
So
our
like that
links?
payment of $1,000, like is that gonna happen?
That's no. You just ask us for that after.
my bad.
okay.
Hey everyone, find us wherever you listen to podcasts. Find us on social media at YOUH82CIT. We're on all social media, and if we're not on that social media you're searching, it's not worth having. You hate to
Good.
see it.net, where you can then become a patron and get extra cool bonus shit.
Yep.
W.GG.
God damn it. Midwest, if you want to plug yourself, and if you also want to plug
Plug
Flepsy.
Flepsy.
Yeah, boy, back. I can hear you.
Oh,
yes.
oh, we're
I heard plug, and it just all came back to me.
All right.
yeah.
Perfect.
Okay.